guys, I am Devjit Bonik and you are watching my channel Dev Tag Droid Banda. So friends, today I am going to react another new video. The video name is 10 tips to survive a zombie apocalypse. So this video I should react. So before reacting, if you don't subscribe my channel, please go and subscribe my channel. I am a new YouTuber, so I need your support. So if you support, then I can give more videos like this. So let's start.
Hi everyone. Well, we're sure today everyone is more or less familiar with the concept of a zombie apocalypse. Yeah, you know, everyone goes nuts, your friends turn into monsters and want to eat human brains or, well, any kind of meat. It might sound a little crazy, but nowadays a scientific mistake can allow anything to happen. So it doesn't really matter if you believe in the Walking Dead invasion, because we already prepared a survival manual that'll help you to stay alive. Let's get it on. Hiding place. So the zombies are here. It might look like it's going to end pretty badly, but not today. So stop freaking out and start thinking. If you're in an apartment, first you should build a barricade, because even if you live on the 8th floor or higher, that doesn't mean you're safe. Put an increased focus on the front door and any neighbors that may enter your house without knocking. Take all the furniture you have. You won't need your favorite armchair, table and chairs anymore. After you reinforced your shelter, try turning on the TV or the radio. The government has probably created several safety zones that the Walking Dead still didn't take over. Don't forget about your friends and family and try to call them as well. If they're still alive, there's a chance you could get together, and it could be much easier to survive this way. If there are doctors among them, try to contact them first, because in times of zombie apocalypse they are extremely valuable. But if your loved ones don't pick up the phone, or if you hear some weird chewing on the other end, you have to deal with it and realize you've got to get out of it by yourself. Clothes. If you used to be a rock and roll fan, or if you still are, you're very lucky, because this kind of clothing is the best for this occasion. A leather jacket and leather gloves can provide a great protection since they're very hard to bump through. Also, don't forget about the shoes. Boots or sneakers are perfect for this because they're strong, practical and comfortable. Besides, it's really easy to run wearing them, and this is the most important. If you've ever done some extreme sports and you have protection, put it all on you. It'll increase your chance of surviving. And remember, zombies love summer, so don't put your favorite sweater on. Yes, we know it's really hot in leather boots and a jacket, but they can save you from becoming a zombie's meal, so don't underestimate them. Food. Now it's time to think what you're going to eat when you leave the shelter. The most important principle during a zombie invasion is more carbohydrates and protein. It may sound like a typical advice for a bodybuilder, but actually it can help you survive with a small amount of food. Look in the fridge. If there's some food enough for a couple of days, then great. If there's only cookies and some moldy yogurt, you'll probably have to walk to a deserted supermarket. First, start looking for canned goods, cereal, pasta, nuts, and dried fruits, or anything that you can keep for at least a week without a fridge. And don't forget about water. Also, while we're talking about liquids, you should also take a couple of bottles of alcohol. The stronger the better. No, it's not what you're thinking. Alcoholic drinks can come in handy if you need to clean a wound or burn a zombie. Are you scared to come out of your house? Then try to visit your neighbors, but first make sure there are no drooling zombies outside your door. First aid kit. Food, water and clothes. Looks like we've covered everything, but it only looks like that because actually in these kind of circumstances you can't do without medicine. Are you wondering what you should take? Well, grab everything. Well, not really everything, of course. You obviously mustn't fill your bag with vitamins and cough syrup. Pills for headache, antibiotics and painkillers are your best friends in the time of a zombie apocalypse. Also take a look at your neighbor's first aid kit, especially if you have some grandmas living nearby. They usually have a lot of medicine. And don't forget about the simplest things as well, like bandages and iodine. Of course they won't help if you've been bitten, but they can save you from blood poisoning if you step on a rusty nail or something like that. And also don't forget about pills for stomach disorders. It won't be cool if you have to face the Walking Dead while sitting on a toilet. Weapon. And now it's time to uncover your gun. It would be perfect if it were an automatic gun or a rifle. Oh wait, sorry, probably most of you don't even have weapons in your houses. Well,
Yes, I don't
cleavers
have
and
also
meat
weapons,
knives can replace them. They're the most solid and useful instruments to crush a zombie's skull. Oh what? You don't have any? Then look in the toolbox. A
We can
drill
shoot
is probably
zombies?
not the best idea, but a hammer or an axe would be perfect.
Yeah.
Although there are a couple of things
It's a
you should
perfect
remember.
choice, hammer.
These tools are not easy to take out of the
This
head
I
of The
have,
Walking
in my
Dead.
home.
If you're not sure you're strong enough to fight using these tools, we recommend you to visit a gun shop or, even better, a hunting store. When choosing a weapon, forget about shotguns. If you use one, the blowback will throw you right into the mouth of a hungry zombie. And while you're reloading, The Walking Dead can learn a couple of recipes on how to cook human meat. If you're in the right place, take a look at choppers, machetes, and hunting rifles. If you haven't found anything, you're probably in a hardware store. In that case, at least take a shovel.
Yes, I will take, man.
Fighting basics. Now you're ready for the fight, and we're going to tell you how and where you're supposed to hit. The first rule of Zombie Fight Club, you must aim at the head
Zombie
because it's the
Fight
most
Club.
vulnerable part. Keep in mind that you're dealing with the dead, so their body tissues are not that strong as the ones of a living person. So an accurate punch in the head with some sharp or blunt object will kill the monster, or at least make them fall to the ground, which is enough for you to run away. If you chose a firearm, don't waste the bullets shooting at the body. Better aim for the limbs, this way you can slow down the Walking Dead. And by the way, it's quite easy to take down one zombie, but when there's a whole bunch of them, they
I
can
think
easily
medicine-
surround you and attack you,
False
especially in a
medicine
city.
attack.
Remember that there's no antidote for a zombie
Can
bite.
result in
If you're
zombie.
bitten, you'll become a zombie yourself
Oh.
in a few hours, and your lifeless
I have
body
seen
will
one
start
movie like
strolling
that.
about the streets looking for food. So if you don't want to become one of those, we recommend you to always stay armed and keep your eyes open. Movement.
Oh man.
Now let's talk about how not to get caught and bitten. Before going out, examine the streets. What kinds of groups are walking on them and how the lonely zombies move around. Try to think through how you can distract them and get as fast as possible from point A to point nobody will bite me here. If possible, try to move on roofs and fences. We know that you have a lot of stuff, but still it's going to be much harder for the dead to get you if you're on the rooftop. When you're outside, what you need first is a car. It'd be perfect if you could
I don't
find a
have a car,
4x4 car with a full tank. If it's empty, you'll have to borrow some fuel from abandoned cars for
bicycle.
now, and then you can refill the tank as usual at
I'll
a
run
gas
fast
station.
as I can.
Finding the perfect house.
Zombie attack.
If you manage to pull that off without getting eaten, then it's time to get out of the city. First, you have to choose a destination. We recommend you to choose some small town or village with a good infrastructure. By the way, if you think it's better to travel at night, you couldn't be more wrong. At night, as weird as it might sound, you should actually sleep and rest. Driving in the dark increases the chances of falling asleep at the wheel and having an accident.
No, no, no.
Also, it's much harder
Don't
to
drive
see
at
any
night.
danger on the road when it's dark
you are
outside.
drunk.
If the worst happens and you wake up in your car surrounded by the Walking Dead, don't panic. Start the engine and go really slowly through them. Remember that the glass of a vehicle is really solid and the zombies won't be able to get to you. Once you reach your destination, you should immediately find a proper building for you to live in. So, have you? When you find something worthwhile, you should scout out the surroundings. Come as close as possible to the building and honk a few times. This way you can attract all the zombies around and lure them out into the open, where you can deal with them using your tools and weapons. When you're done, it's time to protect your shelter from the dead. Block all the windows from both sides. You can disassemble some furniture for this purpose. You'll also have to secure the front door with fastenings and padlocks. Alright, now you can finally unload your car and take a good rest. Looking for survivors. As you might have guessed already, there's nothing worse than fighting a bunch of zombies alone, so you must create a team, which means you have to look for other survivors. First, you have to come up with a special signal. It has to be bright and big, so anyone can see it from a distance. If the miracle happens and someone does notice you,
Firecracker.
first make sure that it's a real living person and not some zombie in disguise, alright? Then keep looking until you assemble a team of 10 or 20 survivors. Now it's time for some really heroic deeds. Imagine you're some kind of Justice League and your goal is to
Avengers
save the
came here.
city from the Walking Dead. So supply the people you find with weapons, refill their food and water supplies, find more transport means, and you can start searching for other living creatures. Visual aid. And now
Iron Man
here we have
versus
the
zombie.
ultimate survival advice,
The
and it
next
combines everything we've told you up to this point. Google up the most famous zombie apocalypse movies and then watch them all, maybe even a few times so you won't forget anything, and then a few times more, and then again. Well, you get the idea. We think that movies like 28 Days Later or Shaun of the Dead would be perfect, or if you prefer independent classics, then don't forget about Night of the Living Dead by George
don't
Romero.
watch
Although if
zombie
you don't
movies
want to
now
waste your
and
time
again.
searching for certain tips
Never.
among all the action, you can watch Zombieland. Jesse Eisenberg's character explains all the rules, literally one by one. There's also
Why
The
in
Walking
India these
Dead,
zombie
but we
movies
don't
are
think
not
that's the
big,
best
man?
idea. The apocalypse will probably start before the series finally ends. Guys, it's time to recharge your brain. Visit the channel Brain Time. There you'll find a lot of interesting and useful facts, lots of positive energy and tons of useful information. Subscribe right now. We promise it's going to be really exciting.
Thanks for watching. Please like and share the video in social networks, and we'll be right back to you as fast as we can.
So guys, this was the video. The man tell us how we can protect ourselves if zombie attack. He has given 10 topics for surviving. Many of the topics I also learned. This was a great video. Is zombie attack. Zombie means nothing, the medicine effect, which is false medicine, human, then the zombie reaction. For protecting ourselves, he gave the best ideas, 10 ideas. You have to keep with your weapon, but though in India, weapon don't give without license, so I have no weapon. He also tells we have car, I have no car. I have to run with bicycle. Food, he describes food in refrigerator. Don't keep food that 3 days food, 4 days food. Don't keep them. Keep fresh fruits. Then many more things he describes. So guys, this was my reaction. It's a long video, so I will say now goodbye. Before that, if you want my channel to be strong, to be upgraded and also famous, so please help me, give me hand and subscribe my channel Dev Tech Droid Banda. You never miss any update, and also click the bell icon. So guys, if you guys comment me in my comment box my reaction was correct or not. So till then, goodbye.